Welcome back, everybody, to the final run of this wonderful 3-day marathon. We're going to close things out with the OG version, Metal Gear Solid 2 Sons of Liberty, the US version. Tyler2022 will be doing all dog tags on extreme difficulty, and joining him on commentary, Jojo316, long name Joe, wherever the hell you want to call him. Take it away, guys.
Thank you, D-Lems. And yeah, so, Metal Gear Solid 2's birthday, what better way to end it than with the original release, PlayStation 2 US release. And I'm being joined today by Joseph Joestar316. How are you doing tonight, Joe?
Hey, it's good to be back here again, and like you said, this is a nice, classy way to end, this anniversary then with the original title. And I'm also really looking forward to watching this run. I know for those watching, after I've seen runs myself, I mean, dog tags is definitely something else. It's a challenge in of itself, and not only that, but he's gonna go on extreme, which I'm also guessing you're gonna try to go for big boss strats, but just
correct. Yes, I will attempt to go for Big Boss. I have been close a couple times where I've had two continues or like one continue, but I have yet to get Big Boss single segment. The last person to do that was Sparty about a year and a half, 2 years ago on the HD collection. So,
yeah, I was gonna say disclaimer. There's a probability that it may not happen, just given the fact that dog tags is dog tags.
There's a lot more stuff going on in this run. Like the run is extended way more, and there's a lot more content to go through, and altogether there are going to be 80 tags. Actually, DM Joseph this just because I had to double check for myself because it's been so long since I even knew, but 26 tanker dog tags and 54 plant dog tags. And also another disclaimer is that this version has a bit of oddities in the terms of where dog tags are and the quality of the guards with the dog tags, but we'll get into that more once the run starts. But are you ready to go, Joe?
Yeah, I'm ready to go, man.
All right, let's go in 3, 2, 1 starts. All right, so for the very first room in the game, it is quite different because we're going to be grabbing dog tags here. Now, normally, we have to wait until way later because there will be tough guys, but on the US Soul release, all of these guys are just regular guards. So we can go with the M9 and just pick up all of their dog tags. And you're going to see me run to the right-hand side here and grab the attention of 3 guards all together. And pretty much for optimizing dog tag rooms, you want to be trying to get as many as you can in a cluster, and that's going to be kind of the name of the game. As you'll see, I'll be getting this guy up above. I'll be doing a small punch buffer going up this ladder, staircase.
Yeah, normally on extreme, we would veer to the left instead of going up the right, but as you can see, he's trying to... Ooh.
I'm just going to reset it because it's just, yeah. Unfortunately, I was a bit slow on my unequip, re-equip. That's okay, though. Unfortunately, it's a bit longer to reset. Please kill me. Please kill me. Okay. Yeah, a bit slow on the fingers, but, it's the first room of the game. We'll try again. As the same thing will happen before. Going over here to the side.
Well, apparently on this reset, not only do we get the guards back, but apparently my name changed on the node. Nice. Thanks,
a lot of
guys.
things are getting reset.
But yeah, like I was saying earlier, normally on this difficulty, you'd be opted to veer off to the left. That's the hatch that's open to gain entry to the tanker. And then as he's using the right side to get 2 of these guards to come forward, and then he tranks the one guard, but then the second one on the stairs, he aims for the exclamation point when they kind of notice something, and it'll put them into a daze. I don't know how long it lasts for, but I think it's just long enough to be able to incapacitate them and then either bump into or, punch shoot if you have the USP to get them back in to do another dog tag retrieval. Also, I think you got a dav drop on that step, didn't you?
I did. I was going for it.
Yeah, that was really nice. Yeah, it's the same tech. Yeah, it's the same tech you've probably seen throughout this marathon, where you can press your action button when you're going down a ledge. If you get it at the right frame, it allows you to just skip the animation drop. It looks really cool, and it does save a little bit of time.
Yeah, so for the very first room, because I was a bit slow and the dog tag drop was not good, I actually went a bit safer route where I would go up those stairs. If you are fast enough, you can go straight at him but unfortunately I could not do that. And now we're back to dog tag collecting, as that room is pretty much the same as you would see in any percent. But first, I need some ammo, because as such, with getting all these dog tags, I'll be using a lot more M9 ammo, so I actually need to be picking that up. Very important. And Deck D is going to be the first real hard run of the tanker. There's about 2 to 3 rooms that are pretty difficult, but say Deck D is probably the second hardest. So...
Man, it's so hard to concentrate on a run when my name just keeps changing, but go ahead.
I guess Tech's having fun.
Yeah, well, and I guess you may have said this, but like you're bypassing Deck A for now to come back with the USP to deal with the tough guys, the one that are like, just try to pull the trigger.
Yeah, and you'll be seeing that really soon here as I'm getting these 3 guards bundled up together. Oop. Oh, okay, we will trank him, I guess. That's fine. Waste of an ammo, but... Oh, give me that. Wait for that camera a little bit. And now we got 3 tags, and the 4th one is going to be in the kitchen area. So the reason why I went to the pantry is because that guy does not even spawn unless you actually walk in there for a split second. So that's the whole reason why I even did that. And now Olga, which on this version specifically... she is random. On the other versions of Sons of Liberty, PAL and JP, she always goes left the very first time, so blame Seoul US for why she's random later on, because that's the only thing that I can think of. As she walks in front of us, unfortunately, we want her to go left.
Yeah, so if Olga goes left, as you've probably seen again throughout this marathon, you get a chance to do what we call the Olga loop, where she'll run to the back corner where you can repeatedly get headshots as she crouches down to, I don't know, kind of, I guess, just to, like, I don't know, recover from damage she took. But unfortunately, since we got right side, you're going to get this cutscene with the dialogue. Something about conflict, victory, and I don't know, I don't really quite pay attention. And
it's all a blur.
Yeah. Oh, okay, good recovery shot. Yeah, you could save a couple seconds if on the 4th shot she runs up to the front instead of going to the back. It's, you know, just a little bit of time save, which again is also random as she gets hit the 3rd time. Oh, I love this part coming up personally.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
You'll see. Don't want to spoil it.
Yeah, but I guess the one important thing when you run dog tags is don't forget this one.
Yeah, that is the one that I usually forget the most.
Yeah, Olga does have a dog tag, so I mean, you know, whenever you're hunting for them yourself just for fun, you know, that's probably the one that does get overlooked.
Just like that.
So now I believe this setup with this guard opening the door and then going through is BMN setup.
That is correct.
Yeah, it's really convenient where you can hold up the guard, open the hatch, and then the dog tag drops down and falls slightly behind, which allows you to kind of do, I guess, multitasking in many forms. All right, so that's the tough guy guard in the cafeteria, but after firing off a round, he's not so tough anymore. Now you realize, oh man, this guy's serious.
Exactly. Doing a little bit of a punch buffer there to where we can get to this guy quickly. And you saw me do it for the aft deck, which maybe not was explained, but I'm going to be shooting the blue exclamation point here for this guard down here. I'm going to be running straight down because there's a guy far back here. Going to shoot him with the USP so that way we can just instantly hold him up as such. Get his dog tag. All right. So since we went outside at the very beginning, we do not have to backtrack out there anymore. Typically, you wouldn't do any of those tags and that you would do them later on after Olga, but we're going to shoot the glass here, wait a couple steps. You want to get them to where they are facing opposite ends, but kind of got octopus arms here. I'll be a little slow here. They're kind of inside of each other. It's unfortunately not the best. Also, I cannot go down that railing there. Seoul US, version, you just can't. Every other version you can. This is by far the beta version of MGS2. The font is different, and there's a lot of weird oddities with this version.
You know, I was going to say earlier when you were talking about the Olga RNG on Seoul US versus others, I mean, I'm kind of leaning towards blaming Seoul US because, you know, you also can't do hanging mode either on those railings. This guard right here is only there when you arrive the engine room the first time, and Tyler was just telling me about this, where if you ever had to reset this room, it's not just as simple as, you know, taking a game over and resetting it that way, because that guard will not come back. But thankfully he was able to get him this time around as he gets to all the others. Okay, nicely done. These two guards coming up around this corner is a little bit tricky. You want to get the attention of one while also trying to get the other to come down the stairs. So he's going to try to get that guard that's down the way there while also holding up the one at the stairs there.
Okay, that's fine. Gotta take this slower now because of that, but that's okay. You're actually kind of on a timer in this room anyway, because a lot of this will be dependent on this very next guard here, and you actually want to have him notice you. So I'm going to be walking over here and then crouching so that way I don't sneeze. And then once he notices us, which is immediately essentially, and then hold him up and get his tag.
Yeah, I forget that even though you're outside for like less than a minute, like you're just prone to sneezing at times.
Yeah, pretty much. Guy's gonna be fixing the door, and I'm going to be taking care of all these sensors here, and he can't hear it because I guess he's deaf or something, and now we're gonna go and get his dog tag, which he is also a tough guy. So we're gonna be shooting up above him. It's important to actually shoot above him, because if you're not directly facing him, then they can sometimes not really care. And now you can see me backtrack here to the engine room entrance, or, you know, deck A, because there's the smelly guy here. Oh, getting a little bit close and personal with him real quick. Beautiful eyes. So now we're going to be making our way back down. So normally you would want to do that guy, or you, like, so for that dog tag, you would normally want to be doing that earlier if you plan to go outside, because you're already going to the left-hand side anyway, but because I already took care of those earlier, there's no real reason to actually go to that side of the room until much, much later. And we only have 3 more tags, and then we're done with all the tanker tags, actually, because in Seoul US, there are no hold tags. So there are the least amount of tags in this version specifically.
Which would then make it faster to run because of that,
Yes.
I imagine, right?
Yes, correct.
Even though I do kind of like the tech that's done to get the other tags in the holds, though, even though I realize there's probably been many frustrating resets in there. Just
for
because
sure.
of where some of the guards are placed.
It is not easy at all. And have this guy that's Pepe Jamin. And now we have the guy that is Resident Sleeper over here.
I mean, I like that Pepe Jammy guard. I mean, you know, he seems like a nice guy to hang out with.
Correct. PS2 has no hold tags. Sorry, Seoul US has no hold tags. If you played this on the PAL version or the JP version, or if you played Substance PS2, then those all have hold tags. It is only in this version specifically because Seoul US, which, if there's something weird, just blame Seoul US because it's probably true. All right.
Yeah, so with Guard Rush, it's going to be pretty identical to what you may have seen before. There's probably going to be a little bit of difference just given the fact that, you know, Tyler's on PS2. But same thing, he's just going to use the USP to not really, you know, kill, like, he doesn't want to kill anybody, you know, attempting for Big Boss, even though, yeah, we already lost that. But he's just going to use the USP to kind of keep the guard in place to get enough time to get off a headshot. And then he's just going to wait for all the others to just come rolling in. I mean, quite literally, sometimes they will roll in. And there's 8 until you get the last 3. So he's going to use the M9 on the first of 3. And then he'll USP the last 2. And then even though it's thinking, well, wait a minute, isn't doing that going to kill them? Well, it's kind of a weird conundrum where you are killing them, but because it despawns them out faster before the game can actually count it, it's a faster way to get out without actually being penalized for killing them. It's really convenient.
Oop. Whoopsie. Trying to do ladder glitch. My one punch didn't work, unfortunately.
Oh, yeah, I didn't have the camera, yeah. what he's trying to do is you're trying to climb into the ladder while having the camera equipped, which is not really supposed to be a thing. So it puts you out of bounds, and through specific order of inputs, it will. Oh, the flick. Yeah, it happens. So he's trying to do a specific set of inputs while on the ladder with the camera, and if you do it just right, it'll allow you to basically skip having to descend down both ladders, or you just, drop down a level and then just climb the second. And he's gonna go for a flick shot, and he's got it. Very nice. Man, threading the needle between that guard right there always makes me nervous.
Yeah, thankfully on the PS2, because of the frame rate drops, it's a bit easier to actually plan out your movement. Because the PS2 really does struggle with this game, because all of these guards are interactable.
Yeah, and then just behold the glorious lag of the holds on, PS2. I mean, I want to say the only version where it doesn't really lag is probably PC, X Series, and probably that's it.
Yeah, pretty much. PS2 is definitely the worst.
I mean, it sort of lags on PS3 HD Collection, but it's not nearly as crisp as probably like his PC or X Series Xbox console.
Yeah, we got our 4 photos.
Or actually, there was X1 I'm probably forgetting about. I think it runs 1080p 60, but I don't know if there's any kind of lag on that one.
There shouldn't be. There shouldn't be. All right, now we are out of the tanker. So unfortunately, we had a couple of deaths there.
I think it was really just. I think it was really just the very beginning. I mean, otherwise, I think the rest
and
of that
then
seemed pretty.
Hold one, yeah. Also, I cannot skip this. I am not just doing this just to be patriotic and all that. I literally cannot skip this because Seoul US. There'll be another instance where there'll be something that would be skippable on every other version, but in Seoul US, for whatever reason, they just decided, no, you really need to watch this.
And I guess also in the order that he took the pictures, because he's on Seoul US 4x3, you can't really do the 2-spot method, so he has to incorporate the 3-spot, which is very similar, but you're taking your last 2 on the right side of the hole, rather than using the 2-spot method on 69 resolution. All right, so the plant. Also, if you're just coming in, Joseph Joestar 316, just pay no attention to the, I don't know what to even call that anymore on the comms description. People just having too much fun on the back end today, but hey, it's all for a good thing.
Yeah, we're gonna have some fun here by swimming in midair. Oh
my god, dude! I'm sorry. You thought this was the commentators, but it was really Dio.
So, you can do this on any version, not just Seoul US, but if you go to the scope, drop down... Wait, what? Oh. Wait, can I not? Wait. Huh? Are we learning? Well then. We learn things every day, through the course of life. Sometimes you also learn that Seoul US bites you yet again, to where, no fun allowed. You cannot do that. Wow, I could have sworn I tested this and it's, yeah. So we were out of bounds, but I'm currently soft locked, so I need to actually just hopefully this drains quickly here. But yeah, so this should not happen. I should have been able to open that door just as normal, but yeah, for like Seoul US and the 20th anniversary, you gotta show the good, the bad, and the ugly. We gotta kind of showcase everything here. So I'm just kind of wasting time here because I literally can't do anything. Oh wait, am I back in bounds? Wait, can I actually go up the ladder? Can I? No, I can't. Yep, okay, so we are just going to slowly drown. That's okay. Because, hey, we all learned something, I learned something, Joe learned something. I am sure everyone in MGSR probably learned something, because I think no one's tried this, because you only really see this in, like, marathons whenever people want to like try to be funny, but unfortunately, Seoul US is a no fun zone.
You know, the only thing I'll say is I'm glad that you lost the rank already because this
Yeah, that'd be really sad.
Yeah, it'd be a really sad way to lose it doing that.
Yeah, that would be really sad if I lost it because of that. Yep, that is indeed the most MGS thing that could happen. Anyway, so disregarding all that I just said, so let's, snap time rewind. Okay, guys, we are here at the beginning of the plant chapter. We are just going to proceed as normal. We're going to be going through, and we are at the intro to where there's not a whole lot going on, but we do have some guards to deal with. Which, they do not have dog tags because we don't have a weapon. Contrary to popular belief, you need a weapon in order to hold people up, so. Gonna be going to the nerd over here and not messing with any of the options and not inputting a name because that'll be on our personal dog tag, which will just be A because, if you want to pass your classes, you got to get A's, right?
Yeah, I was gonna say, when you gotta, present like what you've done today, it's like, oh, what did you name your file? It's like, I named it A.
A Lamau. Yep, now these guys will begin to wake up. Gonna be running down here to this guy all the way over here in the corner. He's kind of lonely. We're gonna comfort him by choking him and then whacking him yet again down to the ground.
As you may have seen on very easy, there's only 2 guards in here, one that revives fairly quick. On extreme, there's a third in this corner, so he's just gonna hug him, let him slouch down a little bit, and then punch him in the nut. It's insta KO. It's gonna be a very convenient tactic that you're gonna see throughout. Okay, yeah.
Never had doubt in my mind.
Yeah, I had faith. Oh,
Exactly.
Nice dodge.
Yep.
But yeah, basically he's just buying time for the elevator to come down, and until he gets a weapon, as well as the M9, the nut punch is going to be used quite a bit, especially in areas where you don't want to be firing off a loud gun like the SOCOM. And plus, it's just a very... Oh my god, dude, Alright, you go ahead. People are just messing with the note again.
Okay. I have no idea what's going on. I only have the chat open to, see everyone that's wonderful in chat. And I have my game on the other monitor, so I have no idea what is going on, but, to each their own. So, for the very beginning, there's not a whole lot to do. Once we do reach someone, though, we're going to be getting to pretty much the main course here of the plant chapter, where we have to go and take care of all of the bombs planted around the various struts. Now, with the additional challenge of also getting as much dog tags as we can, which we'll be getting a fair bit of them. Not all of them, but we'll be getting most of them, because we will have to be backtracking a little bit here and there.
I think you mentioned the other day, when on this AB connected bridge, that for Seoul US you have to go down instead of up.
So, well, if you're going for like Big Boss, for example, you want to be seen by the correct guard, because if you get seen by the wrong guard, then he has a shorter call out on the radio, in that you're pretty much guaranteed to actually get a alerts. That's why I went to the bottom one there. As Rose is going to ask us to save and ask, what's today? Why, it's MGS2's birthday, silly. I don't know why you keep on asking this. As now we have the SOCOM, and we met Totally Not Snake. As we actually grab some more ammo there, because typically we are running pretty low on our ammo count, and this is just for like safety. Normally you would not grab that at all if you're doing 80%, but for dog tags, there's a lot of tough guys that we have to deal with, so that's why I need the SOCOM, which actually the very next guard, the first one in the plant chapter, he's a tough guy. Who would have thought?
Yeah, and then he's going to be collecting ammo for the M9 as well, which again, typically you would, at least on this difficulty, you would have everything in Strut F. You probably wouldn't have to collect stuff for a long time, but he'll be taking quite a bit of advantage with the M9 once, again, he gets there to that point. And now we're meeting up with Peter Stillman, and again, totally not Snake. I mean, he looks
totally
like Snake, sounds like Snake. I don't know, kind of has the mannerisms of Snake, but he's Iroquois Pliskin.
Probably a really big fan of his, you know? Just a coincidence.
Yeah, it's just a fan.
Alright, so starting off here, we are going to be getting both of the dog tags here in Strut C, as they're, you know, right here, so may as well go get them. There's one in the dining area, and then one over by the bathrooms. Changing the SOCOM and the coolant spray. The coolant spray will be useful later on, as since we do not have the M9, the best thing that we can do to actually stun these guys is to groin punch them. Thankfully, don't need to do it here, as I can just walk out the room. And oh no, they're actually surveilling us, and they have a cipher here. Thankfully, a couple shots and it's just taken care of. As now we are going to go counterclockwise all around Shell 1 core and defuse all of the bombs, which most of them have only one, some have two, even three. So this one only has one here. And there are no bombs on the bridges as well. They are only in the main strut areas. And after most of these bomb defusals, I'll be calling Stillman back to like, you know, let him know on my progress here. Oh.
Yeah, I think it's struts A, D, E that have the added bombs. And depending on if you're on New Game Plus or New Game Plus Plus. Ooh,
Yeah, I get real close and real personal with Hero over there, you know. He is very stingy. He doesn't want his dog tag taken away from him. You gotta get real close to him. Nope.
Let's see, what was I saying? Oh yeah, so depending if you're on New Game Plus or New Game Plus Plus, which is just the completion status of your save data, it'll either have two of the bombs grouped up together, or it'll just have one like spread apart from each other, but it still tallies up to 3. It just changes how you defuses in that room. Oh, look, it's another Joseph.
Yep. Got a lot of different characters here. Joseph, Emmanuel, y el Pasión. Probably saying that incorrectly, but, you know, got a lot of people here, and you know, if you don't like watching the credits, just play dog tags. It's like a good chunk of the credits just throughout the run, right? May as well.
And there's actually one particular dog tag I'm excited to see later. I'll just kind of leave that in suspense for now. It was something I realized just recently. It's nothing new, but just something that kind of came full circle when I was just kind of messing around one day. Are you going to shoot me?
Yeah, so for that one, I was waiting because the guy that was directly behind me, I had to wait for him to actually get further into the cycle. Otherwise, he would have heard it, and then it would have been all disaster. So I wasn't just doing that just for the memes. I actually do have to wait a little bit.
Freeze.
So now we have guy up here on the roof. And we're approaching Strut F, which I have recently changed up. It is a room that has seen a lot of different changes over the years and such, but with this variant, theoretically it should be okay. Now, one thing that was happening here in practice, unfortunately, was I am also at the mercy of the dog tag bouncing, as it's not probably been talked about, but the actual bounce of the dog tag is random, and it can get in some nooks and crannies where I have to go up against a surface in order to pick it up. So there's some times where I can just get really unlucky with how it bounces, similar to how you saw in the previous run with Twin Snakes.
Yeah, and then what Tyler's doing here is what we call the Coolant Rise. It's an animation cancel where you equip, so start to stand up, and then unequip the coolant again. It just saves you a lot of time having to just maneuver around, and then the bomb that's in that room, if you're in the right spot, which is just hugging that pipe and being just behind the painted white line on the floor, it allows just enough of a gap to allow the coolant spray to, you know, reach that bomb and defuse it, and then just exit.
Yeah, another tough guy here, but, you know, not so tough after all. If you just fire a gun up in the air at him, right? All right, Strut F, where we will finally be picking up the M9, which is super useful. It's a really good gun, but also a bit of a different strat here. So you may have seen this before, where we coolant spray this guy. We're going to go across, pick up the M9, but we need to get these dog tags, right? So we're actually going to get 3 out of the 4 here right now. As I'm going to knock here. Wait a little bit. Knock. Reason I do that is that way they are not coming up at the same time. Coolant. Whack him once. Hold this guy up. Give me your dog tag guy. And then we're going to daze shot both of these guys. I got the dog tag, and now they are both perfectly in place to where I can whack them once, and they're right on top of each other. Double groin punch, oops. And we got both the dog tags perfectly. So that's 3 out of the 4. There is still 1 more left, but we will be getting him on the way to Fat Man. And you'll see me grab this box, and you may be wondering why I'm going to grab this box. This is going to help with some of the backtracking later on, where I'll be doing that right after the Shell 1 core, because there will be additional guards that will be spawning right after that to where they also have dog tags. So you are forced to backtrack a little bit more than you normally would in a regular playthrough.
Yeah, and then you're collecting those stuns throughout the run, which is going to be primarily for prepping for Tengu 1.
Correct.
To clear away the door.
Yep.
Now, he's just going to get these codex. He just has to get through, and then... Oh, okay, so you're going to do the mine pickup later?
Yeah, I'm going to do it later, and unfortunately, I was a bit slow on my movement getting there, so we're just going to reset this room.
Yeah, I've definitely lost a lot of good attempts. I mean, not even going for dog tags, but just runs in general to, EF connecting bridge, whether if it's tripping a mine from failing to pick it up right, or just barely being within range of the ciphers in here.
There we go. It's a little tight on the timing, but thankfully it's a very quick continue. Okay, now Chart E is a bit complicated as well as a lot of guards in here. I'll be picking up all of them right now, but I gotta shoot out some of these cameras because I'll be needing to not get seen later on in the run. I'm crouching here so this guy doesn't see me. Preparing myself by crouching so he doesn't see me around the corner. Put your hands up. Give me your dog tag. Get rid of this camera because I don't like it, and then shoot this guy in the head. Oop, there we go. Now, we have to wait a little bit for this guy to turn around, and then we're going to hold up just one of these guys. And then once he turns to the left, hold that guy up. We're going to trank this guy, and now we're going to stun this guy for a couple seconds with the coolant spray, so that way we are able to defuse this bomb and have enough time to grab the dog tag and then round back over towards him. Rap God, I guess, something like that. I don't know.
Yeah, behold the glorious PS2 lag again. Yep.
Because now he's a tough guy, so we gotta make him not so tough. So those guys are in not such a great spot, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to hold this guy up. I'm going to trank and then roll into him. Nope, bad angle. And then I'm going to change to the coolant. I'm going to grab these stuns now so I don't have to do it later, just for safety precautions. Very nice cartwheel, Tyler. And now we're going to go up to the heliport where we have to defuse another bomb, and we have to meet Mr. X. And there's also 3 more dog tags to get. There's a lot going on in this run, and towards this part of the bomb disposal, there's a lot of stuff going on, because this room, as well as Shred D, is going to be very complex, so I'll try to explain the best that I can.
Yeah, normally the bomb you would have to defuse is only on the top of this helipad, which has the Harrier parked right on it. And then I believe there's 2 guards that are up here. Yep. One that you're normally trying to avoid when you're just trying to get in and out with defusing the bomb and leaving. It's very tight timing just based on that alone. But instead, what he's going to do is just going to go off to the side to intercept this guard, which is normally the one you're trying to avoid, just running the game, and then grab the second one while he's dropping it. And then there's the next set of stuns, so which I believe you have probably the max you can
4.
carry.
I have 4 now.
Oh,
no,
you have
6,
4 now?
6,
Yeah.
sorry. I have 6. So
Yeah,
I shot.
it's good.
Yeah,
Oop.
so I shot on the ground there, so that way that guy runs towards me, because he is kind of dozing off in the corner. Shout out to D-Limes, because I saw that from him. Now we're going to get another call from Rose here.
Yeah, man, she's got to be checking in.
Yep.
It's like, Rose, it's like we already told you, Rose, it's anniversary of MGS2. What else could it be?
I know, yeah. It's a very special day, as... Stepped on his body. Going to the DE bridge. We have to get one of the tags here now, and then we're going to get another one later once we do all the backtracking before Harrier. Thankfully, though, It's going to be fairly straightforward. He's just going to be running away from us. Quick hold up. And that guy's even still asleep, as you saw back there. So not to worry about that guy. Be on the lookout. Alright, Strat D has a lot of stuff going on. So essentially, this has a lot of tight timing towards it. I need to try to trank this guy. Or, since I did not trank him fully, I need to shoot him once more. He's going to see me. I need to hurry up now. We're going to trank this guy, hold him up. Because he saw me so early, because I didn't get him right away, he's going to head over to this guy pretty quickly. It's going to be pretty tight. Hold this guy up. Hold up. Get right in front of him. He's a tough guy. Don't shoot. And then we're going to get these 2 dog tags. This guy's going to see me. For safety, we're going to use the coolant spray. Whack him. Hold him up. Get the tag. And that's all the tags here. So now we have to defuse all the bombs. That was the scary part. Whew, okay. That part always freaks me out because a lot can go wrong there.
Yeah, like there's so many dynamic elements in Strut D alone, and the guard that's roaming around on the radio that's checking in, he's probably the worst one that you may have to worry about aside from just the others that patrol around. But yeah, that was really nicely done.
Yeah, I mean, normally, this room is also pretty tough, especially if you come in from the top side, but then you add in dog tags and you're trying to do it fast. This is one of the more intense rooms in the run. But I think this is probably the hardest room in the run. The rest of the rooms aren't too bad. Well, it's like a couple in like Shell 1 core, but you know, I think we have gotten past most of the heavy hitters in like terms of like difficulty, and now it will be a bit easier going forward here, as now we're going to get another day strat, which we have not seen since Strat F. So, oh no, surveillance camera. Gonna go around it. 1 cartwheel and walk up just a little bit. Whoop. Bit. I didn't think I had the coolant for some reason. That's okay though. We have like 7 seconds, so even with a bit of fumbling around here, we can hold them up. Get that dog tag from Junpei. And now we are done with bomb disposal. We're not done defusing bombs, but we are done with the bomb disposal part of collecting all the dog tags. So now we're going to get Sensor B and progress the rest of the way through the story.
Yeah, because at this point of the run, you know, it was discovered that there are other types of bombs that are, you know, sensorless. They don't get picked up on Sensor A, but Stillman was able to rig together a sensor that can detect it by sound, which, as Tyler's about to leave Strut C, it's actually going to start that timer for the last bomb, as I often call it. Whereas Snake is, or I'm sorry, Pliskin. I mean, Snake, Pliskin, same difference.
Snake Pliskin.
As Pliskin's disarming the last of his Sensor A bombs, it actually triggers the timer for the Sensor B bombs. You know, the Sensor A bombs were just a decoy for the real bombs. So thankfully, you get 200 seconds to make your way down to the bottom of Strut A docks. It may sound like it's not enough time. But I guess just, you know, learning to speedrun the game, I just slowly realized over time, it's like, you know, maybe 200 seconds really isn't that bad.
Yeah, and if you go to like VE, I think they give you like 1,000 seconds, or like something like that. They like give you a long, long time on the lower difficulties. So
I think it's 400 seconds, but yeah, it's like...
It's probably 400, but I mean, it may as well be, because I mean, 400 seconds is a long, long time.
Also, by the way, the guy that just fell over the bridge, yeah, it was another accident. You know, you know, Tyler didn't kill him.
Yep, gravity killed him, just like Twin Snakes. All right, now we're gonna be going towards Fortune, which is a boss, but not a boss at the same time, and you're gonna see some nice PS2 slowdown, because everyone loves that, right? And I'm seeing me do a bit of a glitch where I'll be popping out, and I won't be taking any damage, because the whole point of the fight is just to be a big auto scroller, essentially.
Yeah, I mean, the Fortune fight has different ways to deal with it on various difficulties. VE has a way to speed it up in a very specific start setup to do it, but on Extreme, it's really nothing, you know, that can't be done other than just surviving it. And as you can tell, yeah, there's really laggy parts of the game, and I think the holds are bad. Well, when Fortune starts firing a railgun and barrels start blowing up, well, there's gonna be a... Yeah, I guess we'll just kind of let that happen until we get there. But the last bomb is on the wall there. It is always there on Extreme, as well as European Extreme. It changes place, again, just depending on what difficulty you're on. And then the thing about Sensor B bombs is, like, you don't want to be too close to them. Not only will they detonate just from the timer going down, but if you were too close by proximity, they're also rigged to detonate. But just being at that railing is just close enough to touch it with the coolant spray. So for Fortune, it's going to be using the box to start off with. As much as we love the forklift, it's sadly got to go. For some reason, it's just scripted to where that forklift must be destroyed. I don't know what the forklift did to Fortune, but what he's doing now is every time you peek with the gun while on cover, you have iframes, and he's using this to basically survive the, railgun spam that you're seeing right now. And then he's just gonna move over to the corner where, again, he's just gonna be, doing more iframe peeks. And as you can already tell, just from being in the overview like this, it's just lagging the game. Just between the railgun shots, the flames, all the explosions, and on this difficulty in Euro, she fires the railgun like in a double tap burst. Rather than just like a single fire with maybe a cooldown charge in between. She goes ham with the railgun here. Normally on other versions of the game, you would often see people use the box to evade the railgun gunfire. But again, since it's on PS2, it's, not as valuable, but although it could be done. Plus, I do kind of like this. It's like a swag way to beat Fortune. Just be dodging railgun shots. I mean, quite literally.
Yep, slow-mo, got the slow down, we got dodging, all that stuff, and now that we're done with that, good lord, we have another bomb to get to. We have to go all the way to Strut E Heliport. We have one more dog tag to get before we actually fight Fat Man, so gonna be making our way. We have 200 seconds, which again, sounds like a lot, but it's only a couple rooms over.
Oh yeah, the thing that you may have saw Tyler do there right before that fight ended with Fortune is he equipped the coolant. Since he's on the previous item system setup, any item that you swap over to just before a, I guess, like storyline cutscene or a trigger point, it'll swap to the weapon that you had just before it. So since he had the SOCOM on his previous along with the coolant, it'll just save you time by just re-equipping whatever was last on your inventory. It's like a menu trick. It's used quite a bit, just in general throughout the game, not just on this difficulty. And I think you said there was one dog tag to get here.
Yep.
On your way. Oh, there he is. Don't kill me. Okay. Got his dog tag.
Going into the box makes it to where I don't have to worry about that. I'm actually, for the safety reasons, I'm not gonna go for that Claymore there. I'm gonna play it safe because I've already died here a couple times, or I've already had a couple deaths, so I'm just gonna play it a bit safer than I normally would. So we're just gonna be taking the long way through the EF bridge just for safety reasons.
Yeah, the thing about these time sections is that if there's any kind of game over, it sends you back to where you start. It's not just reloading the room or the bridge section that the continue happened in. So that's definitely a very, valid reason to, try to play it safe. I mean, the mine pickup is very risky.
Yeah.
Also, that was the trick shot where he fires off his SOCOM just as he's about to turn the corner to get the guard's attention upstairs, while not getting like that return fire that you would often get when you're first discovered by a guard. And I believe it's on Seoul, US again, where the bomb is placed closer to the stairs, not just on the helipad.
That is correct.
Now starts the Fat Man fight. Because it's a party, and we gotta show up to the party and have fun. Well, Fat Man's definition of fun is, well, he plants bombs, we have to defuse them, he rolls around on skates and, tries to troll us, taunt us. But what he just did there is he shot the rollerblade with the M9, which is gonna make Fat Man lose his balance and cause him to fall down. And he's gonna do it again. When he does that little like back and forth, I call it the Fat Man Shuffle, where he's just using it to taunt you, but it's just opportunity to you know, either knock him over with the SOCOM, which he's doing now, or if you get him in a good spot, you can just make him lose balance and just trip him up. And then what he's gonna try to do every time he falls over, it takes 6 shots to knock him over, and then as he's falling down, you have time to get 2 headshots per knockdown. It is most efficient to do it this way, but it is easy to mess up. Especially depending on where Fatman falls down, his whole body can turn, or it'll just put him out of sight, where you can't really get like a quick shot right away. And hey, that was pretty good, Fatman.
Yeah, decent. So one thing is that, you know, I got all those doubles essentially, and I did not miss anything. But unfortunately, the way that like the actual health works, you have to knock him down once and then do 1 anyway. So even if you do only get 1 shot during one of the cycles, it is okay as long as you don't miss more than 1. Then you'll still be on track to actually do the same amount of damage output here. But yeah, that was a pretty good Fat Man fight. I had a couple of movement errors that I maybe could have done better, but that was honestly a pretty decent fight. As now we're going to be talking to the ninja again. Oh, sorry, go on.
Oh, I was gonna say, like, you know, Fatman had Stillman's dog tag. You know, maybe Fatman was running dog tags, and we just, I don't know, happened to get in his way, and now it's like, oh, now we got your dog tag now.
Yeah, exactly. The circle of life, the circle of the dog tag life. It never really ends, does it?
But yeah, Fatman's a fight where ending it fast is always best. It's not just because of speed runs. Again, I don't know if it depends on difficulty, but like he can plant up to a lot of bombs if you let him. He can plant up to like 4, which most times is a game over. You're just not gonna have enough time to get to them all.
Yeah, like 2 to like 3 is like enough, but at that point you would pretty much like be going towards them anyway.
Yeah, sometimes you can get lucky if he clumps them up in like one general area, but if he spreads them out and it's like 4 and above, it's pretty much pointless. But the next task before us now is to get to the B1 floor of the Shell 1 core, which we're given a guard's uniform, the BDU. But in order to complete the outfit, we need to have the AKS 74U. Which on very easy and only on very easy, it's in the core. Someone just left it in one of the side rooms. Or it could have just been like, hey, did you leave your weapon at home? Here's a spare one. Well, unfortunately on Extreme, we have to do what every other difficulty does and make our way to Strut, or make our way back to Strut F. Okay, so, oh, I'm sorry, go ahead, man.
Oh, sorry. So for this one, we're gonna have to get 1 dog tag here, where he'll be in the room where the AK is actually. I'm going to shoot at the wall here. And then he's going to look at the wall because he heard that. Now we're going to get dog tag from him. And this is the only one now from this room. Burl B. Potsdam. I still need to like see all these interesting names because my favorite one is coming up soon. And what about yours, Joe? Because like you were saying that you had one that you were going to be looking at or like you were going to be mentioning.
Yeah, that's actually coming up soon, so I'm pretty
maybe it's the
right
same
now.
tag.
Yeah, I think so.
Might be the same one. So going to the Shell 1 core, going to be taking down this Cypher here. Grab some AK ammo. And a lot going on, so Joe, take it away.
Yeah, so now that he's got the AK and the BDU, it'll complete the disguise needed to actually access the elevator to go down into any of the other levels in Shell 1. But for loading purposes, you're seeing him unequip the BDU at times. For some reason, just having the BDU on for certain things just causes the game to lag. And just takes things longer to load in. But in areas where it's safe, he's just going to have it unequipped. And then what he just did there is he purposely got attention from one of the guards just to kind of get the other to come over and then hold the both up for dog tags. And I think this might be the one I was looking forward to.
He was further
Let's
down,
see.
so I wanted to be a bit safe there.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I keep forgetting there's another guy up there.
Yep. I think I know which one you're referring to, and it's probably the same one for mine, so...
Yeah, that camera right there, that's the thing that you have to pass in order to access the elevator. And you can actually skip that cutscene, you know, and I think when I played the game, it was always thought like you just had to watch that play out and then it opens the door for you, but you can actually just skip it. So now we're in B2, the computer lab. Not only does he need to get the dog tags out of here, but we need the D microphone, which is going to be needed to help us identify where Ames is in the core, since the only hint that we're given is that he has a pacemaker. Although, just from experience, we know exactly what Ames looks like. And also, depending on your game file status, which anything above New Game Plus, it will randomize his location in the core. And also, depending on what time it is in your, I guess, platform system, whether if it's console PC, it can actually influence what hostage pattern you can get. I remember this is something you told me about a long time ago, but it's like you have like the old man pattern, the old lady pattern, the young Jennifer. But I think most times it's just like default, where you get like a little bit of everything.
Yep.
So we have yet another obstacle. They didn't make things easy, so you have to pass a biometric scan. So if you're not registered within the system, no luck. But thankfully, we have a nice group of volunteers in here, which first he's just going to be bumping into one, holding up another, trying to get a third dog tag. And because this guy's a tough guy, you got to fire off the gun. And then he's going to use the coolant spray to wake up the guard, because again, you need somebody to use for the scan. So he's just gonna wake him up, and then it's just gonna knock on the wall. Guy's gonna be like, "What was that sound?" And then what he's gonna do is he's just gonna punch buffer, and then just look off to the side as it puts you just in the perfect position to borrow this guy's head, and then just pass the retinal scan.
All right, see what kind of aims we get today. This is randomized on New Game Plus and above, which you want to be doing that anyway. So, put the uniform back on. Where is aims?
Yeah, like I was saying earlier, when you have the BDU equipped for certain areas, it just takes longer to load. So it is safe to enter without it on, but you just have to equip it immediately before you even move. Hey, not a bad aim. So you got southeast.
Yep. That's pretty good.
Because depending on where aims might be in the core, you would have to do a glitch where it's the D-mic glitch, where you have to start a punch-punch-kick combo, and on the kick, you swap to the D-mic. It confuses the heck out of the guards, wondering what it is that you're doing, or like, what's that weapon? It's like, what? D-mic? The AK D-mic? You never seen it? I don't know. I always find it hilarious when it's used, but in situations like this, that's the aims you want to get.
And only on Seoul US, you have to wait the entire 10 seconds for a dramatic effect, I guess. Again, can't do anything about this. On the other versions, you would equip it and then it would immediately skip to the cutscene, but Seoul US has to be special in its own way. It's gotta stand out. Its birthday, it's gotta show all of its interesting design decisions that all got taken out of subsequent versions.
Yeah, now it's like when you equip it, it just ends it automatically.
Yep.
I don't know, maybe they just wanted to show off Ocelot just, making his way up
strutting his way. He's like, oh
knows?
man, look at this animation, he's strutting. But then, you play it 20 years later, and it's like, oh man, please, no.
Yeah, so what he did there is he was gonna get spotted by that guard anyway, so he unequipped the box just to avoid getting that return gunfire, while at the same time pressing on the elevator, which will again give him iframes. And then at the same time, he was turning around with the M9 to disable his radio. It will stop the alert from happening, well, just temporarily. And then using a chaff to disable the cameras within the corridor of the Shell 1 floor, just to make a nice getaway escape. And now he's going to be making his way back to Strudef to get the PSG-1 sniper rifle, as that will be needed for not only the connecting bridge he's going to later, but throughout the rest of the game.
What happened?
All right.
Okay, so he's just gonna, again, use the box spin app. He's just gonna say, oh, let's see. Yeah, this is what I was worried about whenever I do this. Sometimes if you get a SWAT team guard that comes up, ooh, nice stop. Yeah, for some reason, there's a sentry on the floor that will come up if he hears the radio get shot out, and other times, SWAT team guard that's down there because it is in caution. If a sentry sees you, they have to call it in, in order for alert to happen, but if a SWAT team guard sees you, it's an automatic alert. There is no call-in, there is no delay. But thankfully, he was able to just, trank him from a distance at the right time. And then again, being in the parcel room for Strutty while it's in caution is, pretty dangerous because now you can see there's added guards in here.
Yep, I'm tranking everyone just to be safe. All right, and the reason why we got the box is so we can do the box glitch to where we go through the conveyor belt and we get transported all the way back here, which is what we want. Oh. And now we're gonna wait out the rest of this caution here since we're already at the tail end of it anyway. I want to open up that door. I've had to where they see me sometimes. And we're done. Okay. So now we're going to begin backtracking. So like I was saying before, at a certain point, there'll be guards on this bridge that normally wouldn't be there. And again, I do not want to be using the BDU through these rooms if I don't have to. I was kind of forced to just out of circumstance from the past couple of rooms. But as you know, I actually made it to the dog tags because it is significantly slower on the load times from room to room if you are wearing the BDU. So you want to try to not wear it if you can help it.
Yeah, I mean, throughout parts of the core, I mean, obviously he has to have it on for the first elevator and just navigating around in the B1 core section where the hostages are. But yeah, it was something I never knew about for the longest time. Like, I was going into Shell 2, and there was just moments where I was like, man, why is this cutscene taking forever to load in? And then someone told me it was like, oh yeah, because the BDU lags the game. It's like, really?
Yeah. Also, another thing that we may not have mentioned is that for the BDU, it actually is sort of like camouflage in a way because it actually will like decrease the effectiveness of the guard's vision. So if you're ever in a tight spot, you can use the BDU and then you can actually approach them a lot more earlier, and that they will see you much, much later.
Yeah, there's actually a section after the connecting bridge that Tyler's going to be getting to shortly, where the BDU is going to be used to order to actually get through.
Pretty much required unless you want to be really slow with it, essentially. We're here just for safety. I probably won't need it, but if there's some weird stuff here, as now this is the last backtrack guard. So now we're going to get this last dog tag here. And from here on out, there's really not a whole lot of dog tags. It's going to be... A lot of it is going to be pretty much just like any percent up until we actually get Emma and we are walking back out. It is going to be pretty much just like any percent from here on out for just a little bit. So a break from the dog tags. I see we currently have 43. Quite a bit. And this is, again, just in the plant alone, we have collected 43.
Yeah, and there's a total of 54, which makes sense given, there's parts of the shell where you'll have guards, but you can't really access any kind of dog tags. It's just not feasible.
Mm-hmm. Actually, have my wrong gun on. That's fine, though. Change it to that.
Oh boy, the connecting bridge sensors.
Ooh. I love threading the needle.
Yeah, so the thing about the sensors is there's many of them. Again, depending on difficulty, it can have them spread out throughout this whole area. And then the ciphers are probably one of the more dangerous ones because if you destroy the cipher, it blows up the bridge. The other thing I personally hate sometimes is that you got so many seagulls throughout this area, and I like to say rarely, but it's not rare for me, is they'll actually fly into your line of fire and block your shot. It's happened to me on several occasions while trying to get a run in. Yeah, then you got that sensor that's down there, which I always found to be a pain to get to.
Sure, there's a lot of them. All right, got the Harrier coming up.
Yeah, so again, if you like the PS2 lag, well, say hello to the PS2 Stinger lag, which, I mean, honestly can be a plus minus. I mean, it kind of gives you time to think, but you just have to kind of grin and bear it. So he's going to try to go for a 5-hit, so he's going to go for 3, 4, followed by a 5th shot as the Harrier's kind of taking off past the Strutty. And then as it zips off into the distance, he's going to kind of do like this mixed barrage of mini gunfire plus missiles. And for some reason, and I guess Tyler, you were telling me this, but only when you do a 5-hit, the Harrier's pathing, like after the initial damage it takes, it can do a random flight path where it can actually like swim down into the ocean.
That is correct. And I missed my shot. It's unfortunate.
Yeah, well, what he was trying to do there was the die shots, where if you canceled the cutscene of seeing the missile pods drop from the Harrier, you can actually get not one, but actually 2 shots. Just gives you a little extra damage early. Okay, so when he does the missile lock, or when he says, "I'll let you go out in style," what you could do is use the iframe peak, similar to what he did for Fortune. It will just allow you to survive the missile lock hit while trying to go for an overhead shot, which he did. It is very specific and it's dangerous. If you try to go for it on the fly, I learned that the hard way several times. For the missile barrage, again, just using the SOCOM to peek, and you just fire off a round. It's not a big deal. Then once he's done shooting the missiles, you can just return fire. I think you can get up to, I think it's like 4 to 5 hits, just really depends. Okay, maybe not.
He's 1 hit away. It's okay. He is 1 hit away. I'm going to be further back here just to be completely safe, because I'm going to go off of the railing. So
Oh, it's zipped off. Yeah. Yeah, sometimes the Harrier can dip down when you're trying to spam rockets, and I've lost opportunities to end it because of that, but alright, wasn't too bad of a fight.
That was okay. Alright, another save boss here. Rose checking up on us again. So now the next part of the mission is go to Shell 2 and rescue the president, because he is being held hostage. So, again, we won't have to deal with any of the dog tags for quite a while here. It'll be pretty much just like 90% until we actually grab Emma, and then we are making our way out of the Shell 2 core, then we are back on the dog tag train.
Yeah, that was the leap of faith. Cartwheeling from the broken part of the bridge to the other side of the broken bridge. And then what he's going to do here is he's going to have the BD on for this section specifically. Without it, you'll just get caught trying to, sneak your way over across the railing here. I just love their conversation where it's like, this is not a pretty sight. It's like, I know, man. I mean, there was a raid, there were some explosions, parts of the plant's destroyed. I mean, what else is there to see? Oh, wait, there's Raiden. But if you can get to the ladder fast enough, it's fine. But the concern in these perimeter sections is you do not want to get spotted at all. They kind of behave similar to the SWAT guards. If they see you, it's an automatic alert. There's no call-in. And especially in this section here, it would call in ciphers in addition to the guards kind of leaning out the window trying to attack you. It's not fun. Up, and then this guy wasn't prepared today. I mean, we've probably been live for, what, like 30-something hours? I mean, I don't know, I guess you just gotta go.
Yeah, taking care of your body is very important. Hydrate regularly and all that kind of stuff. Just gonna pop a chaff here. Make our way over to the Shell 2 core, which again, we still have some stuff to talk about because there's some cool oddities with only this version, the best version, maybe, to some, Seoul US, but, we have to go and rescue the president, who is right over there, and only issue is that he is being protected by an electric floor a la MGS1. So we're going to make our way to grab the Nikita. Now, it is downstairs in the flooded part because of, of the Harrier fight. Things got out of hand, and part of the Shell 2 is like completely flooded. But we'll be grabbing it in a bit of an unconventional way, which you can only do on the Sons of Liberty PS2 versions, not just Seoul US.
Oh yeah, now I remember this.
Yep. The greatest glitch in MGS2. Too bad it is patched out, because it's just too good. Forgets like a swim glitch, right? How about swim skip, where you only gotta swim? You're just walking in the water. Walking on water? That's for Vamp. Raiden likes to walk in the water. And not even walk, he likes to run in the water, get a nice little jog. Alright. Get our Nikita and our Stinger ready, because we actually have to shoot the wall to actually alert the president, because otherwise it will be bad RNG, because, believe it or not, there's RNG with how he actually dodges the missile. And for whatever reason, if he falls on the floor, which he'll be lower to the ground, he will die to the splash damage, but if he crouches, which he is closer to the missile, he will not die. I don't know why they did it like that. It makes no sense to me, but, you know, such is life.
It doesn't make any sense, and, you know, on VE, when you try to get the missile near him, he'll do some really funny dodges and flips. I mean, like, he actually does backflips. It's pretty unexpected, but the vent path thing is consistent for difficulty. It can change. So in this case, he's just going to have to, you know, navigate through the vents carefully and blow up the power box, which he did. And now we can go have a nice little chat with Prez.
Yeah, but the president who will give us another key card, and like, you may have been thinking, hey, if Vamp is going to be further ahead, why don't you just go to the Vamp room? Well, we actually could go to the Vamp room, but then I'll be a soft lock because I do not have the actual card key that this guy gives me. All of the card keys in both Twin Snakes and in MGS2 are given through cutscenes. So that's the biggest problem for finding sequence breaks, because it's hard to open these doors, and even if we can get to the loading zone for said door, whenever you actually go to a new room, it will check for your card level. If you don't have the correct card level, it will lock you out, and you'll be running behind the door forever. It is very unfortunate, because this game is airlock tight with glitches, but there's a lot of possibilities. It's just very unfortunate that it is just sealed off, essentially.
Yeah, I think I tried doing the, what would be like the Tengu 1 skipping on the door where you needed Emma's card, because
yeah,
I learned the hard way about the Emma bump, so I was like, oh, I wonder if I could just get through the door anyway, and it will clip you through, but the problem is if you don't have the key card, you load the next room, but then you're just stuck in the door. Like, maybe Ryan was just like, I'm not sure if I'm supposed to be here.
Yep.
Do I have the right card?
And much like before, we are going to go up to the area button, prone, press it, and then we're going to fall through the floor. Now, you can do this in other places like in the Shell 1 core, but you'll fall straight down to the bottom of the level and you'll be soft locked. But here, there's actually a collision at the very top, so that's why I'm able to do it like this. So I'm going to cartwheel twice over, face south, and then cartwheel a couple times, then we're going to go straight to the Vamp 1 door. Unfortunately... Oh. Ooh, I was a little off. There we go. There we go. Okay. Undershot just a little bit, but that's okay. And now we're walking up some invisible stairs, and we're getting a codec call. Now we're gonna go fight Vamp, which is one of Joe's best bosses. I think I can beat his like high score of like 11 punches, right? I think it's your best 11.
No, I mean, I think I've gotten a 10, but I mean, BMN's the one that's the crazy setups. I mean, he has a setup where you can get a lot of punches early, but it's very dangerous.
I see.
I think the most I've gotten without dying was 10. I typically try to go for, and I'll explain this. But with Vamp, he is normally probably one of the worst boss fights in the game casually, but he does have a weak spot. What he's gonna do is he's gonna lure Vamp over and try to get him to knife. So since he's climbing up through hanging mode, it's gonna give him iframes. And every time you punch him and just be within close proximity, he's just gonna do a knife slash every time. You can basically do this the entire time, just stay away from the knife. It's one hit and you're dead. And then what he's doing is just gonna be doing cycles of just repetitive punches. I can go up to 9 to 10 somewhat safely. 9's probably more consistent. 10 is really risking a death. I don't know if you can go beyond it without dying. I mean, I know BMN has a coolant spray setup, which can get more punches at the start, but even then, you're just praying that you can punch fast enough without over-punching, because if you do a punch-punch-kick, which at the end is fine because you want to end it fast, but if you punch-punch-kick and at any other point in the fight, it's going to knock him into the water, and you're just losing buckets of time. Trying to get him to go back up again.
And to answer the question in chat, that glitch is only available on the Sons of Liberty versions, which are all the PS2 releases. That is the first versions of the game. Whenever these games got a re-release, they were called Substance, and they added more content. So for the very first releases of the game, no matter what, US, JP, Korean, whatever, you're able to do that glitch, but it's only useful in that room specifically. You can do it in the Shell 1 core and in the previous room in the Shell 2 core, but you'll fall down to the bottom of the level and you'll be soft locked, unfortunately.
Yeah, on PS3 HD collection, it would be doing the swim glitch, which is a different
it's not as
a
good.
different thing altogether. Yeah, I mean I figured if you're gonna do some swim skips, this would be the one to do because I can't imagine how difficult the swim glitch is on a PS2.
I tried before. It's not that bad. It's okay, but I definitely would prefer PS3 or like PC to PS2 because the lag makes it a bit troublesome. Because as you saw there, swimming in the PS2 makes it look like you are swimming through thick molasses. As we're not done with swimming yet, because we're taking just a small break here as we talk to Snake and Otacon. Now you have to grab her hand and walk her about, 12 feet south, and then she'll be ready to go, I guess.
Yeah, this is Emma. We gotta bring her back to Shell 1. It's Otacon's, I think it's...
Sister.
Sister. She's the AI programmer for Arsenal Gear GW, which is, some intel that President Johnson just told Raiden about just a few minutes ago. And Emma is the only one that knows how to really dismantle it to destroy it for good. But she was drugged up to prevent her from leaving, so that's part of the reason why she can't really walk by herself. You have to kind of hold her hand, literally, for a good part of this section. And then during the swims, Raiden's O2 is more than enough to get through these areas, but Emma's is not nearly as much. But thankfully, all you gotta do is just surface once to just get enough time while also collecting the PSG-1T. Just like in Twin Snakes, it's the non-lethal variant of the PSG-1 sniper rifle. Mostly used if you're going for big boss attempts and... man,
okay. I'm not dead. Hey, well, that's cool. I'm not dead.
Okay. I figured it was a mine, because those mines terrify the hell out of me. Personally, whenever I just play the game, but... yes, the mines are very dangerous. I definitely encourage you to stay away from them.
Yeah, definitely.
But anyways, so the PSG-1T is going to be used, given, big boss attempts for non-lethal strats. But at the same time, it just gives you enough time to get to the swim section while Emma just doesn't drown. But also, not only does she have a fear of swimming, she's also got a fear of bugs. So we're like, you know what, Emma, we got enough of these, problems with what you have, so we're just going to forcefully hug you through, drag you into the elevator. It's faster than just using the coolant spray to disperse the bugs.
And we have some more dog tags to collect. Thought we were done. We got a couple more. This room can be a little tricky, unfortunately.
It's not over yet.
Pretty much.
Don't shoot.
Hey, get over here. Thank you. I guess attention. Okay. I'm just taking this room as safe as I can because things can go wrong. Also, I'm at really low health, so... yeah, alright. Emma, get up, please. We're just gonna bump into her, and we're gonna now spawn in the elevator guard. Which, during practice, I actually got here so fast that he actually saw me and, noticed me really early, so I'm gonna not try to go as fast as I can, but I'm gonna walk over here, it'll spawn this guy in as such.
Yeah, I like to think this guy shows up from some secret floor we're not aware of because he clearly wasn't in V1.
Yeah, exactly. I'm not sure where the heck he came from.
Maybe he was disguised as a mine. I don't know. It's Metal Gear. It would not surprise me if they somehow had the ability to do that.
Yep, for sure. All right, so now we have 3 more to get in this room in particular. Emma, stand up. It's always good to bump into her so that way, because if you try to grab her hand, it's a very slow animation. In this run, you will oftentimes be having to bump into her because you have to go and do other stuff as well. This one's a tough guy. And okay, I thought that I been trying for a second, but we were good to go. All right, now we have our favorite guard in the entire game. Everyone knows his name.
Wait, I think I know who it is. Maul.
That's right.
Yeah, Maul's a bud.
Oh,
wait, Cedric. What the?
Cedric. I know.
And I've been lied to, man. You know, we get played like a fiddle in Twin Snakes and MGS1. Now this game too. Can't we get a break?
All right. I was checking if I have chaffs. I do not, which I will be needing them for the EF bridge. So I'm going to be walking up here. I'm going to be taking out these. Usually you would throw a chaff grenade here, but because there's a guard that I need to get his dog tag from, I'm going to instead opt to not use the chaff here, because it'd be more beneficial for me to just do it later. And... whoop. Okay. Just want to make sure he's not going to turn around on us. Just, you know, be very, very cautious here. All right. Now, we only have 3 more tags, and then we've got all 80 of them. We have, 1, 2, 3, 4 tags, excuse me. We have 4 more tags left. So we're currently at 76 right now. We got 2 more here. We got 1 more in Strut E, and then we have the final one, which I won't spoil just yet.
Oh yeah, with that fire, you only have to take out half of it. Just a lot faster. It's just enough room to get Ryden and Emma through.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Oh boy, Strut L.
Yeah, get this guy's attention. Oop. I am very close and personal with this guy right now.
Don't kill me.
Oh man, you're just trying to show him. It's like, yeah, man, you mean business, man. It's like, give me the tag.
Okay, there we go. Just want to get his attention so that way he's not going to be running around. Oh, hello there. Oh, yeah, sometimes whenever you actually hold them up, they like slightly move forward, so while you can get the initial hold up from them, sometimes they will still bump into you because, you know, reasons. Emma, get up. Okay. So we got these 2 guys down. This room could be a lot faster, but, you know, as with a lot of these rooms, things get very tricky and very complicated, so some of these rooms, purposefully, I have made strats that are a bit safer to actually go for, especially because it's at the very end of the run that, you know, losing a potential big boss run here would be really sad, so. And now we have the sniping section. Bit of an auto-scroller. Not an exact auto-scroller because we still have stuff to do, but just you have to watch Emma across this entire bridge length, or rather the entire oil fence, so that way she can get back to the Shell 1 core, because if you remember from the Harrier fight, Shell 1 2 Connect Bridge is completely destroyed.
Yeah, it's a perimeter fencing that will allow both Emma and Ryden access back to Shell 1, which is connecting Strut L and Strut E together. So he's got the thermals to take out these mines, and fun fact, you only get the red thermals on PS2 Sons of Liberty, as well as PC if you have the, I think it's the model quality.
Yeah, set to low.
You have to set that to low, and it changes it to the red thermals. If you set it to anything above that, it gives you the blue thermals with the, you know, orange yellowish thermal imaging. I'm fine with either one. I know some people really prefer the red thermals over the blue thermals. I don't know. So I guess, well, what would be your preference, Tyler, for thermals?
I prefer the red because I mostly run the PSU version, but, you know, the blue thermals are more realistic, so I can understand why some people would like the blue. As I'm not going to mess around here, I'm going to be spamming all of these shots into these guys. If I actually do get caught here, it will not count as an alert, but Emma has to sit down or... And that costs about 8 seconds. Sorry, I had a huge brain fart.
Yeah,
so...
you know, yeah, it's no longer an alert for us, but as the player, but it'll just get Emma under attack. She'll brace and, you know, she'll crouch down, taking fire. Slows down the auto-scroller section. But at the same time, Tyler's taking out these mines. not only at the beginning, but also at the very end there on the third bridge. It's very easily overlooked when going through here, because I mean it does drag on. But at the same time, there's these guards that spawn in, not only just as you first start, but they will show up as Emma is progressing. So there's going to be one coming up on the first platform as Emma goes underneath. There's going to be one that shows up right above her. Ooh, really nice.
Yep. Now we have to wait for some of these to spawn up overhead.
Yeah, then over time, ciphers spawn in, which I think if I understand this right, it's like if you opt to kill the guards instead, the ciphers show up sooner. Whereas if you trank them, they still show up, but just not as soon. I know it's sort of like that on VE, even though most of the time, I mean, we're just killing the guards anyway, because it's like, you know, what's the point? Trying to go non-lethal. But yeah, through other moments, you're just waiting for Emma. Enjoy the sunset.
Yep, as now we are now waiting for the next set of guards to spawn in the second area, where there'll be 3 guards, and then there'll be a cipher to Emma's left. So I'm just preparing for that now, waiting to use my pentaz, because I don't want to be spamming this too much, because I'd have to go back and have to grab some more. Ideally, I would just stay here the entire time, which, depending on how I am positioned, I maybe had to move for some of those third area mines, but I was able to actually get all of them, so I'm able to just stay right here the rest of the time as now I'm just waiting for these guys to show up. There we go. Okay, cool.
Yeah, and then in case you're wondering how he's getting his ammo back, he's parked over an ammo box spawn for the PS2 1T, so as long as you're standing above it and your bullet count drops below 5, it'll just spawn a box right on top of where you are and just refill it.
Yep, because now we don't have a whole lot going on. Just, you know, enjoy the nice music, the seagulls, the sunset. You know, at least for me, it is a bit past sunset. It is currently 9:30 where I'm at, but, you know, wherever you are, I hope that you've been enjoying the marathon thus far. And yeah, we're getting to the final stretch here because we only need 2 more dog tags, and then we're all done with dog tags, and then we just gotta beat the game. You know, gotta round it all out.
Yeah, I've been having an absolute blast just being a part of this, from running the race against Limes, you know, which I understand. You know, I stood in for Jag, running Winback, and just, you know, commentating this run, posting, and, you know, I really do appreciate everyone that's, you know, put in their effort, whether if it's, you know, also doing, you know, runs of their own, our back-end support, our tech gurus, keeping the, you know, the stream, you know, functional, and, you know, when there's crises, they're quick to act on it. Also, rip that seagull, I think, but I won't shed a tear.
Unintentional.
I hate those things.
Unintentional. I was trying to sneakily kill that last cipher, but unfortunately, you know, Seagull got in the way. Wrong place, wrong time. Happens to the best of us.
I mean, I don't care. I mean, you know, those Seagulls deserve it. They've blocked enough of my shots. Oh, yeah, I forgot. Since we're on Extreme, the call that you get from now Snake, you're wondering what happened to Pliskin? Oh, yeah, he was really Snake the whole time, I know. He calls in very late, which is not really very helpful. It's only 1 cipher that's left. On other difficulties, he'll call way sooner. On VE, it's pretty much like right as Emma's about to go up to like the first set of guards in the first bridge, but on this one, it's like, oh, hey, sorry, man, you know, it's just got held up. But, you know, Tyler's just making quick work of the cipher, while also setting up for the Vamp fight coming up, which, I know, you might be thinking, well, wait a minute, Vamp's clearly dead. I mean, you know, he punched him to death. Well, I don't know. Vamp just, I don't know, he's the fun that keeps on giving. He just seems to always find a way to, you know, find a way back. You know, even at times where you think he's just dead. So he's just gonna leave his gun empty. And once Emma reaches the near end section of the third bridge, what Tyler's gonna do is just unequip his gun and then stand up and go over to the same ammo box that he was before, and just spam at his leg. You could go for headshots, but the thing is, Vamp kind of moves his head over every time he gets hit. So it's faster just to aim at his legs because he just doesn't move, except for his upper half. But nicely done. And you know, Vamp is sort of dead. Crab emoji, except MGS4. I mean, wait.
We don't know about that yet. It's okay. It's all about MGS2 today. You know, we don't talk about that game. It's all about MGS2, baby. So we are going to be going to the chaff and then SOCOM here. The reason why I want to go to SOCOM is because this guy's jamming out, just like the guy from the tanker holds. But, you know, gonna shoot next to the wall and hold him up. And this, oh, come on. This guy's always in a bad corner sometimes. It's very awkward to get this guy's dog tag. All right. We got second to last dog tag. There's only one remaining now. So now waste these two chaffs because that's going to be clogging up my menu. I was crouching because I was still in the animation of actually throwing the chaff grenade. It's been unfortunate. All right. Now we are on our way, Shell 1 core, which has been infested with sea lice, and we're going to be heading over to the end of the game, Arsenal Gear. Got 3 boss fights back to back to back. 4 actually, excuse me, 4 boss fights. Now, as much as I've been praising and like memeing on Seoul US, I think for speedrunners the least appealing aspect of it is the way that the raids work. So much like a lot of the other things in this version, there's a lot of things that are not very well implemented, and one of them is for the raid fight. So if you're familiar with the MGS2 Stinger and like the lock-on boxes, for example, from the Harrier, we're going to get those in the raid fight, except for they will be showing up while they still have iframes, and we will be able to actually lock on to the raids that are far, far back that we can't even hit that are still spawning in. So it makes for a very aggravating experience, and it's very hard to actually do it fast. So to be expected, I will probably not get the loop, and I'll probably mess it up, but that is just to be expected.
You know this fellow?
Yeah, but I guess before we get to any of that, you know, we're in this unskippable segment of wait, are we in Twin Snakes? This room looks really familiar.
I know. I bet you they ripped off of Twin Snakes, right? They had to.
Yeah, something just doesn't seem right with this room, and oh yeah, this section right here where you're being choked to death, well, it's just a tutorial of what's to come later. You don't have to do anything now, but the next time, yeah, that's where it matters. Do the prison roll.
No thanks, Blue. But I will be doing different kind of roles, though.
Well, it's funny that Blue says that because, you know, Johnny is actually in this game, although just indirectly through hilarious Easter egg, you know, cutscenes, and you have to use the D mic in a couple places just to be able to hear it, and one of them involves with Emma, which is pretty hilarious. Brace yourself. Ugh.
Now, thankfully, since this is on extreme, the damage is not that bad because that punch is the equivalent of a gunshot. So on European extreme, that's taking 1/3 of your health, but on extreme, it's only 1/5, which is not as bad, but still a decent amount. But once we rendezvous with Snake, we will have the body armor, and we'll have a new weapon as well to mess around with.
Man, Raiden must have gotten into some real suspicious activity because they literally took the clothes off his back, but you know what? They didn't take the dog tags, baby.
I did not hold select, so I unfortunately have to wait here. This is not ideal. Forgot to buffer that. My mistake. Okay. Ooh. Alright, I'll just reset the room. Definitely they go pretty quickly, but yeah.
Yeah, that's the problem if you don't get the buffer and then you have to wait because, you know, the whole room is on a cycle for the guard patrol. So that's probably the best thing to do because it's really hard to navigate in there in the first place. Can't really fight anything directly. All right, there you go. It's
pretty much required. Okay, it's not there anymore. Okay. All right, we're good to go. All right, sorry about that, folks. I'm gonna be meandering our
Oh
way
yeah,
around.
that's right. If you get a continue, some of those force codecs don't show up again except for the very first one.
Yep.
So he's gonna go around the first bridge section, go underneath the camera and across the bridge again, make the scary cartwheel gap across the bridge with the open section, go underneath the second camera, and then just cartwheel through the last guard into Ascending Colon, which it's gonna be a series of codecs that we have to, you know, listen to, well, skip primarily, but you just have to answer them. AI kernel is kind of acting sus, you know, I mean, part of the virus kind of went in and he's saying some really weird stuff, something about listing off, I think it's like different train stations in Japan to something about infiltrating Outer Heaven, and my personal favorite is something about Scissors 61. And Glenn, if you're listening, I don't have them. I keep getting blamed for taking the scissors, but that Colonel man, he keeps asking for them.
All right, so now after we got through all of those codec calls, we are now rendezvousing up back with Snake here. As he's got our stuff, and we have some new goodies as well. We have a cool little blade, swing it once. We're going to go to body armor in the box, menu off of the blade, and the last tag right here. This man right here.
Yeah, so with the Ascending Colon, you just have to swing the blade, or just, you know, you could do like the thrust, where you try to stab with it. It's basically I think it's like a 45-second tutorial to train how to use the blade, and you also have to stay in the upper half section of the hallway for whatever reason, and just wait out the timer. Also, could just, you know, mess with Snake.
Yeah, unfortunately, because I actually had to knock him out, I had to do that. Also, look at Snake's name and look at the, like, bordering. They did a bad job, and they only got 2 out of his 5 letters in his name that are in that border. It's pretty funny.
Wait, Hideo Kojima? Man, always gotta put himself in the game somewhere. Alright, Tengu 1. So all those stuns that Tyler collected throughout the run is going to be used here. Going to throw it at the first group, go into box to get into cover, fade some of the gunfire. Okay, took a little bit of hit, but not a big deal. It's just going to cartwheel into the next guard. And what he's doing is just throwing these stuns ahead as he's moving through to the other side where the door is. And he's just making sure that there's no Tengu guards nearby as he attempts this Tengu 1 skip. What he's doing is he's laying up against the door. And in first person, start the punch-punch-kick combo, and on the kick, you release the camera. It allows Raiden's kick hitbox to extend past the door and touch the loading zone. It saves a bunch of time to, you know, what would normally just be eliminating, you know, tons of Tengus just to get through. Now, for Tengu 2, what you're seeing is a different method of doing the Tengu 2 skip. In other methods, you would see just the player grabbing one of the Tengus from Wave 1 and just keeping them up for as long as possible. Instead, what he's doing is he's just going to trank Snake, so he won't be killing any of the other Tengus, especially with the ones that he's spraying here. It's a similar concept, but instead of trying to hold up one, you're just using the coolant spray to do the same thing. You're just buying yourself time. The game doesn't quite understand why the Tengus, especially from Wave 1, have been alive for so long, because the game is assuming you're just taking these Tengus out along with Snake, or maybe you're just letting him do all the work. But you're just doing this to buy yourself time, and then because the first wave lived for so long, the game just doesn't know what to do, and it just ends the encounter. You know, you would think that with their gear, they would be able to withstand the coolant spray, but I don't know, man. It's not all about being flashy, I guess.
All right, and now we have the rays. As I was talking about earlier, they can be very troublesome, and expect them to not be looped at all. But we're still going to try our best.
Not a bad
And we're gonna grab a safety ration just in case.
Using fire to fight fire, creating the perfect
Yeah, I forgot. There's, you know, on extreme, like there are rations. They're just rare.
Yeah, they're very
but on-
sparingly like out there. Like you can only carry 2 at a time, and they're very hard to find.
Yeah, like on European extreme, there are no rations at all. I mean, globally spawn or otherwise, it's just they're not even in the game. But yeah, we're just waiting for Solid to go through his whole spiel about, you know, Solid Snake simulation, you know, what the S3 program is to him, and, you know, something about, you know, Raiden's past, and I don't know. It's if someone could find a way to skip through this so we can get the raid fight faster, I mean, I guess we would love to hear about it, but at the same time, I guess it could just be another moment just to kind of take a breather, you know, get a drink ready. Also, just rotate with the Stinger ammo box.
Yeah.
I approve.
Synchronized dancing. The Stinger box.
Those days during the Civil War were as real as they come. Every day was
Oh my god, dude! They are having way too much fun with the node today, changing the comms text. But it's the last run, and we're having fun, so I'll let it go this time. So here we go, the rays. The rays that you have to take out increase based on difficulty, which is gonna have to take out quite a lot. And then, like he was talking about, the target hitbox for the Stingers with the rays is kind of weird. So as you can see, like when he hits the leg to get the mouth to open, the hitbox for the legs still appear. Normally, in other versions, like once you hit the leg, the hitbox for that leg disappears temporarily until it stands upright again. So he has to be very careful how he aims with his Stinger, not to hit the same place twice. So what he's gonna do is just, you know, in a specific order, just start dealing damage across the first 3 rays to get the first one down, the second one, and then get the third one to jump up. And then you can see off to the left, upper left corner of the screen that the rays have a designated number, where it's the AO 1, 2, and 3, and it goes all the way up to the E set. I believe there are 6 in each group. So they'll just go up each time one ray gets eliminated, the next one takes its place. Okay, so he's got a little bit of an issue here, but he can still try to continue to just keep the rays contained.
Yeah, the one fired missiles at me, so I didn't get that guy. Yeah, one of them fired missiles at me, which is not ideal. So this is messing up the loop already. That guy's gonna come up on stage. Oh, he's actually refreshing. That's good. Oh.
Yes. Yeah, so with the ray loop, you're trying to keep them contained to a corner of the arena that you're on. And then because they spawn from that side, it's also very convenient, since you can kind of, you know, I guess, damage the next ray that's due up on stage. If you're wondering, well, how do you know which ray is next to go up on stage if there's multiples of them? It's always going to be the one with the lowest HP. So they can just jump up on the right side here where that one is right now. But if one of the rays gets around Tyler, and that's the next one that's due up, it'll jump up from the other side. You'll see the camera rotate to it. But ideally, you want to just keep these rays like right where they're at right now. So like as one ray is being damaged and eventually destroyed, it takes a while for it to kind of linger off and jump off the stage. And while that's happening, the other rays are just kind of like lining up. And this is what ideally you want, is like as one ray is going off stage, you're kind of damaging another plus a second if the opportunity presents itself, like right there. The rays kind of follow a routine where they'll kind of like jump up, shuffle up to the stage. They'll do like an open roar, which again, every time the mouth is open, that's a direct weak spot hit that you want to get. It takes 3 open mouth hits plus a minor hit to the head where it's closed, where it does partial damage. But to get the mouth to open, you can just hit the leg, it'll force it to open. You can wait for a water cannon attack, that's another way, although it's dangerous, especially if it's on stage. But it is another way to kind of bait out a hit from it. But at this point, as far as damage mitigation, along with the fact that Tyler has a ration, missiles are probably one of the most dangerous things to be aware of. The machine gun fire from the Ray's arms is manageable. but it is just something you want to avoid generally. But if you keep the ray loop intact for even a good majority of it, damage is not something that's usually a big of a thing to worry about. But it's when the rays go from being in a loop to a free-for-all, meaning the rays are surrounding you, you're getting missiles everywhere. That's where things really start to get chaotic, trying to keep it under control. So you'll see Tyler cartwheel away at times, because when the rays jump on stage and you're too close, it'll make you lose your balance and fall off. Oh, aw. Yeah, I hate it when that happens. And oh, see, yep, that right there is why that hitbox is annoying. Because again, he's trying to aim for the mouth, but it was still locked onto the leg, so it forced Tyler to have to, you know, improvise that one. Okay, so he's on C3 and C4, which again, we're probably going to see up to like EO1, sometimes EO2, depending on, you know, how you're distributing the damage, because the way to get through this section is not really like a number of rays taken out. Like there are a minimum that you have to take out just to reach the end of it, but sometimes the damage can be split across a few rays, just enough to kind of equate to like eliminating a ray. So like you can deal like half damage to one and half damage to another, and the game thinks like you took out a whole ray at the end. It's kind of weird. So again, just wait for the ray to jump up on stage. And again, if you're familiar with the placement of where you're at on that stage, you don't have to worry about like the ray like knocking it off balance if you're like in a safe spot. It's only when it's too close by, or if it's jumping off from a side that you're just not really like in the right spot for. You just may have to improvise and just cartwheel out of the way, just like with the missiles right now. Ooh, oh, that one blocked it. It happens.
Yeah, that was a bit unfortunate.
Okay, so just gonna take out the last of the C set rays. So now you're gonna see almost reads off his dog if you you know, skim at it, but it's DO2 and DO3. I think he has about a handful of rays, and wow, that stinger went up to outer space.
It went in right through his leg. That was a bit surprising.
Yeah, well, I mean, it is Seoul, US, so I mean, I guess that's
yeah,
a
I'm not gonna. Not surprised. That's all I'm gonna say. I'm not surprised.
And also, likewise, in the sniping section, Tyler is parked on top of an ammo box while he's trying to keep these rays contained. It's fairly similar. Like, every time you launch a shot, it's just going to populate an ammo box. But you just have to be very cautious of your ammo at most times.
Goodness.
Oh, man, I hate it when that happens. The stinger can be very finicky. If you fire it prematurely and then try to lock it on awkwardly, it won't really connect with the ray at all. It'll just blow up in the air.
We're
Alright, so
there. Yep.
yeah, I think you got like, yeah, I think you're on like the last two and a half rays, I think, because again, the damage distribution could be spread out. So there you can see EO1. The furthest I've seen is up to EO2, but it just depends on how the other ray leaves the stage and then the next one spawns in. So you should only have maybe like another big hit or two.
At the back leg, unfortunately.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's the other thing is, like, depending on how the ray's, like, situated, if you hit the opposite leg, it'll make the head open and turn away, which makes it nearly impossible to hit it for a full shot. Okay, thank you, Scott. Oh, that's the last hit. So,
All right.
a little bit of chaos here and there, but I mean, I think he mainly controlled that.
Yeah, I mean, not dying is the most important thing to have to use a ration, which now I have it for solids if I really need it, because unlike the HE collection, this is a non-nerf version of the fight. Same with this torture sequence, because as you saw before, where it was preluding that we were going to get choked out by solids here, we're going to be doing it here. Thankfully, since we're on extreme, it's only about 30 seconds, so it's about double the time as HD collection. But if you were to play this on the PAL version, European Extreme, it'd be about 60 seconds.
Yeah, so when you hear mashing for your life, I mean, yeah, this game is like, yep, you know, you got to do it. HD Collection nerfed it down. I think it's like 15 seconds, and then Substance nerfed it down to 50, which I think is just taking like 10 or 15 off the top, whatever PS2 is. And and then it's lower on, just again based on difficulty, on VE it's like 10 to 15 seconds. It's negligible, but it goes up to the point where it's like you feel like your arm's gonna fall off by the time you get to the end. Which fortunately for PC, turbo is allowed, not only just for that, but it's also made its way for other things for just speed optimization. But it is nice to have that for getting through the Solidus torture on, especially on Extreme, European Extreme. So Solidus. It's gonna be last fight of the game, which before that we're gonna get all these wacky codecs from the AI kernel who we thought we disposed of from the virus, and he's just saying, oh, still here. It's like, oh, okay. Yep, they're just gonna tell us about the whole purpose about, you know, what their existence is, the Patriots, and, you know, the whole thing being a simulation, and, you know, Raiden just, you know, being a part of it, and I don't know. I mean, it's some pretty deep stuff. You know, it's long codecs. So now the Solidus fight. As you noticed before he left Ascending Colony, he changed his blade from red to blue, which is using the non-lethal side. It's not going to really be used like that per se, but what he's going to do is punch instead while slashing at Solidus twice to get him to block. And as you notice, Solidus has an eye patch on, and it's not just for show. It actually is functional, where you can attack him from his blind spot being his left side. So you will basically trade hits on his right side where he could see, cause him to block, which he'll respond with a kick. And every time you trade sides, you're just trying to get in the hit before he counterattacks with, you know, his kick. And you do this, you know, many times until you get up to, it's like 48%. Oh, okay, now he's being mean.
Yeah, he's just not being very nice to me today. That's okay, though.
Yeah,
right
so
there.
if he's...
Oh, sorry, go on.
Oh, no, I was gonna say, I was just watching that missile. If he zips away, depending on how low his stamina is, he'll follow up with a missile attack, which... Okay, that was a little monk ass right there, but thankfully if the... Oh, yeah, if you catch on fire from his blaze trail, you can just swap outfits and it puts out the fire. It's really neat. But yeah, every time he either zips away or if you knock him off balance like that, he'll follow up with a missile attack, which you can actually cartwheel up to him to exploit his, you know, where he's open. You can actually slice the missiles, but I do not recommend doing that on this difficulty. It's mostly insta-death, especially on Euro if you try to do it. So, you got him down to phase 2, he ditches the octopus arms, so the missiles are no longer gonna be used, but instead he's just gonna go way faster. When he zips around, you're gonna want to hope for the people's elbow, where he does an elbow and leaves him open to attack. Unfortunately, he did not get that. So whether if you get it or not, you just kind of resume the, you know, the parry loop, where again, you just attack on his good side, he'll see the attack, go to his right side with the eye patch, and then you can just, you know, get in a series of 3 hits, and you want to space them out, because if you do your punch, kick 3 times, it'll actually extend a combo, which will knock him off balance, so that's why you'll see him do, like, 1-2-1, or 1-2, or 1-1-2, so, like, he spaces it out accordingly, just to keep him contained, but not knock him off balance by accident. But the biggest thing you're probably going to fight more than anything, which I'm kind of seeing it now, is the camera angle. Depending on where you're at on top of Federal Hall, the camera change can really mess you up. I know it does for me, and that is time for Solidus.
Alright, thank you all so much for letting me show off all Dog Tags Extreme for the original release of Metal Gear Solid 2. Not as clean as I would have liked it to be, but, you know, what is a speedrun without some minor bumps here and there, so Before we go, wanted to thank everyone for participating, either through the back end, commentary, hosts, all the runners, because we actually got a lot of people that like weren't regularly part of our events, because we had a lot of non-Metal Gear games like Zone of the Enders, Crash Bandicoot, Final Fantasy X. So